forgot how to do this. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Carla and I make videos on corporate soft skills, project management skills, leadership skills, any kind of skills that help us get through this corporate society that we live in successfully from a lens of a first generation immigrant Latina. So welcome. I'm really excited about today's video. I'm hyping it up way more than it really needs to. I'm just really pumped about my new system of taking notes. It's not that cool, just very nerdy. I have figured out a new way of taking notes that is probably an old system that I just had no idea about. So I think I've explained on this channel that I am a project manager, and normally I have about, depending on the size of the project, 4, 5 projects under me. If it's a large project, I might be juggling just 2, depending on the kind of projects that I'm doing. However, there's been a little shift in my life where I am now doing program management, and I am just overwhelmed. If you know anything about programs, there are many, many, many projects under a program, and I am no longer in the weeds of the projects, but more on a high level of what a program needs to do in order to succeed. Maybe I'll make a video on what that is. The stress, the overwhelming amount of information that was happening was not working with the way that I was taking notes. The system was not working. We were failing. The process, the policies that I had in place for myself was completely going in overdrive and just completely failing. So I had to adapt. I had to be very dynamic, and I had to figure out a way to retain information, get on the ball, and stop dropping balls. That's a lot of balls. So let me show you how I've adjusted my personal note taking. It should be a very quick, easy to follow video, and then I'll show you guys exactly how I do it. But number 1, I fold a page at the front of the start of the week, and I fold it in half, and that is my action item list. So I'll show you kind of a little diagram here of what that looks like. It literally just says at the top action items, and it's obviously if you fold it in half, it's tiny, so you don't have the space to write an entire sentence. It's really about my action item: set up a meeting, do report X, that sort of thing. And so at the top of the list, I like to call it action items, and usually, on Monday I have 4 to 5 items, and then as you keep going for the week, because you only do it once for the week, you have additional action items that you can add. At the bottom of the action item section page that I've done, I have a steady state action item list, which are things that potentially you might not need, but I need because I'm in a program and there's a lot of reporting to do. So every single week I have very steady state items that I need to get done at a specific date and at a specific time. So at the bottom, I'll say Monday, submit progress report. Tuesday, submit agenda for leads meeting. The items at the top are not steady state. Those are just things that are happening day to day. So when you fold that sheet, you'll be able to see the back of the full page. And so at the back of the full page, I'll write the date of that Monday. So Monday, May the 1st, 2023. And so you'll be able to see the exact date of the week that you're starting for this action item list, which I love. So that's it for your action items list. That sheet you'll be coming back to every single day. Every single day you're coming back to that sheet. In terms of what I'm doing different for my regular note taking, I'm using color. I don't know about you guys. I think I definitely have some sort of attention issue. I don't want to call it ADD because I don't want to diagnose myself, but it is very difficult for me to concentrate on things that are just no color, monochromatic, things that look like textbooks. Give me a textbook with pictures and color and I will learn whatever you want me to learn. Give me a textbook where it's just words and I will just fail completely because I can't read it. I can't do it. So essentially what I've done is now for my regular note taking where, I'm working and I need to figure out something. I don't know, maybe I'm figuring out a team, how to set up a work breakdown structure or something that I need to work out in my head first before I start working on the computer and put it together on and put it together on whatever program I'm working on, or I'm reading an email that I really need to absorb and understand the information that's going, so I need to write it down. You know, those real notes that are just for yourself as you're working through your job, those are in black. And at the top, I always call them what they are, right? So whatever project exit is plus, you know, work breakdown structure. So that's my personal note taking. Then I use a blue ink for actual meetings that I have. You know, now we're in Zoom all the time. I write the notes that I have to take for myself during meetings. I no longer take formal meeting minutes. Usually we have someone who takes those meeting minutes, those formal meeting minutes, and I just review them. But I still have to take meeting minutes, because if I don't, I'm not paying attention. I do not know what was just said. I get caught off guard all the time if I'm not taking notes of exactly what's happening. And I always go back to them as well. Green ink is for when I have conversations with my colleagues that are not formal, they're not in a meeting, they're basically just work conversations that I still need to know, right? Or when I'm meeting with my boss, we got to go through whatever's going on in the program, and I have to be able to take notes, because if I go back to my office without taking notes of a conversation that happened, it didn't happen. It's sad. My brain does not work. So normally when I use a green ink, I just say the name, I put the title, the name of the person that I'm having a conversation with. And it can be anybody, right? I forgot to mention that the action items are written in red ink. So don't forget that. And I still use a little box to write out my action items, even though the rest of the ink is in whatever color it's supposed to be in. I also jot down, or I put down a little red dot for a critical item that I know that I need to remember, whatever that is, a schedule update, or potentially that my team is going to be needed for something, but it's not an action item yet, or, you know, anything critical that you need to remember to come back to, or that you know that you might need that information at a later date, so that it's easy to just go through your notes and look at it and be like, oh, there's the red dot. I got it. The only other thing I can say is my Friday brain dump still happens. I have a sheet called Friday brain dump. Nobody else is going to see these notes but me. And so that's one of my biggest advice, is do what you need to do in your own notebook. Nobody's going to look at that notebook. This is for you. So whatever structure works for you, that's how you need to put it down in your notebook. So hopefully no one ever looks at my notebook. Maybe I'll be biting my tongue. But I have the last sheet of Friday. It's called the Friday brain dump. And I do the same thing I previously did, where I just brain dump everything that I still need to do for the next week, things that didn't get done that I was supposed to do. What else? I don't know, conversations that I didn't have a chance to rethink about, but I need to think about them the next week. Things like that. So that Friday brain dump is still on there. It's the last sheet. So the next week, you'll be able to see your Friday brain dump on the left, if you end up with a sheet on the left, and your action items on the right, for the start of your new week. So that's how I do it now. And it has really helped me. Let me show you how I do it on my notebook. I'll actually show you in my notebook. I know I've shown pictures and diagrams and everything, but I really want to show you how it looks in real life. All right, I'm still trying to figure out YouTube, and I'm not the most aesthetic person ever. So let's try and figure this out. Okay, so like I mentioned, red, blue, green, black are my colors. And so here's a empty notebook, and I'll show you exactly how I do this. Here, I'll usually just put, you know, the start of your month. So for me, I'm sure you guys can be way nicer looking than mine. So I'll usually do this. I go like that, and there you go. So on this side, I'll put the date. So you can see it on the edge. Here I'll do action item, and down here I'll put steady state. Down here my steady states will be Monday 9 a.m. progress report due. So that's what that'll look like. So then, let's pretend Monday, I had a meeting first thing in the morning. So I'll probably put project X, and it was a scheduling meeting. Schedule discussion. And then I'll just write. And then let's say right after I got interrupted by my colleague. I don't know, let's call her Mary. So I'll just put Mary, and then I'll write real quick what we were talking about. Potentially, during this time, I ended up getting an action item, so that one I'll still write in red. And then I have focus time, so I'm gonna focus on project Y, and I'm figuring out the work breakdown structure. And this might look like little diagrams of me trying to figure out what's going on with my org chart and what the project looks like. So what kind of tasks, you know? So this will be very messy depending on what I'm doing. So that's that. And then on Friday, normally it'll be a bunch of sheets, right? But I don't want to waste this entire notebook. So let's pretend that this is Friday and say that I'll go Friday brain dump. And I'll just write everything I need to remember for the next Monday. And so then on Monday, if this is the next Monday, you'll be able to see your Friday brain dump and the start of the week on this side. And that's it. It's very simple, super, super simple. I just wanted to share it. So here's what that looks like in real life. This is my notebook. And so you'll see these are my action items. You can tell a couple of these didn't get done because they're not marked off, so I'll probably do them next week. You can see my steady state down here. You can see the brain dump over here. And that's my brain dump for the week before. And now sometimes I'll cross things out. I should have probably crossed things out over on this side. And then this is just my regular notes for me to figure out. Here's a conversation that I had with somebody. Here's a real meeting that I had. And here you can see, like, I wrote down my action item in red. And for example, here you can see where I can put a red dot because it's something that I need to remember about. So that's it. That's how I've changed my system and how it's completely changed my life. Que dramática. It's just made a really positive impact on how I retain information. And I definitely feel since the past, I don't know, 3-4 weeks that I've adopted it, it's just really, really helped me be more present, which is what I was really working on, trying to be more present at work. Because it sounds funny, but I was constantly thinking about other issues at work when I was in a different meeting about something completely separate. And so my mind was constantly split. So this has definitely helped me so much. Hopefully it was useful in some shape or form. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.